Since the first space travels began, astronauts and scientists have encountered various objects that have provoked the curiosity of many. Although no tangible evidence of life has yet been found, we could say that we are getting closer and closer to finding one or more such discoveries. They say that it takes evidence to make a point, and fortunately, it seems that evidence has already found its way into the right hands. What will happen now that these strange hair samples have been discovered on Mars? Can they be expected to be reliable proof that there is life in our solar system, in addition to that which already exists on Earth? Or are they traces of beings that no longer exist? Although astronauts have brought back various fragments from the planets they visit, this is one of those times when rocks, gases, and minerals from the surface are exchanged for other cargo. Scientists must surely be very excited about the whole thing, as the first theories are beginning to emerge as to how this hair came about. Let's take a closer look at today's news. The whole story of this note started more than a year ago. Specifically, in February 2021, when the rover landed on the surface of Mars. In those days, scientists and specialists wanted the rover to touch down in the J0 crater, which was located on the red planet, as they wanted to investigate and obtain any signs of life that could be collected from the Martian soil. So, the NASA-owned space jeep set out to travel along various roads and specific points in its crust, all with the aim of finding those signs of existence that continue to be missing, despite certain discoveries that had already been made on the planet's surface. Findings that spoke of water particles and other components. For a long period of time, scientists spent a long time investigating the data collected by the rover on each outing. Although NASA has already stated that it plans to keep the rover for a period that could last several years, the discoveries made by the device in recent months have provoked a whole series of theories and hypotheses regarding what inhabits or could have inhabited the red planet. From rare components to elements that often appear on the surface, the rover has gathered a considerable amount of information that has gradually helped us to better understand the planet's past. Although the rover has only traveled 3 kilometers from the Martian surface, scientists are optimistic that something could be revealed sometime in the next few years. Not least because other things have been found thanks to the rover. Although not traces of life, the rover has revealed the composition of Mars to the extent that the planet is thought to have a similar structure to Earth 3.5 billion years ago. At that time, there were oceans, rivers, and lakes that gradually fostered life on the planet, and although it is now a fact that there is water on Mars, astronauts have not yet found any signs of life in the crust of the celestial body. Are there really no living things on the site, and have all those efforts been in vain? Well, some scientists don't think so. Just a few days ago, NASA made an announcement that surprised many people because of the possibilities behind the words. A sample came into their hands, and in this object, strange elements can be observed. Why? Because there are 2 small pieces of debris, which have caught the attention of the community because of their shape and appearance. The first one can be seen half hidden in the core bit, stored in the drilling carousel. And the second one is a small element in the chuck, something that seems to be a hair. As soon as these objects were detected, however, NASA requested that they be collected and sent back to Earth, where a statement was posted on its website announcing the discovery. Although many scientists were enthusiastic about both pieces, the institution also stated that their origin, as well as their composition, is being investigated. The latter because they want to make sure that none of these elements belong to the rover, or worse, that they are debris from the entries, descents, and landings that have been destroyed on the red planet. Specifically, from the mission that brought the astromobile to the surface of the celestial body. Within the statement, government researchers have assured that it is still too early to associate these objects as part of a Martian entity. According to the institution, both samples were handed over to the research department in order to obtain clearer and sharper images that could provide more information on the subject. Any clues that could speak to its site of origin. Quote, Perseverance's forward-facing HazCam and NavCam cameras will take images of the workspace to see if any traces of foreign objects are visible. With the announcement, the robotic arm tasked with imaging the drill chuck began its work. Now, after that statement, all that remains is to wait for the results of these investigations, which, it is thought, will be announced over the weekend. Could it be that we are looking at genetic material from an extraterrestrial? As far as we can see, it is still too early to make a formal statement about the event. Most scientists prefer the first results to be published, but that hasn't diminished the number of questions that continue to be raised about the subject. Where did these hairs come from? Who left and when did they leave? Do they belong to extraterrestrial life? Let's stay on topic. Among those who have taken an interest in the find, some have commented that they find it strange that so much research has to be done to be sure that the material is of Martian origin. Why go to all this trouble? Have you ever come across samples that didn't turn out the way you expected? The answer to that is a resounding yes. And for you to understand NASA's current situation, we tell you that just a few days ago, Perseverance sent an image to the institution, along with a report in which they claimed to have seen a foreign body on the surface of Mars. This attracted attention because it appeared to be rolling plants like those seen on Earth, so they did not hesitate to report it. While some think it could be plant life, others are more skeptical and point to a simpler answer, as debris from missions that visited Mars has been found in the planet's crust for years. It is not uncommon to find half-deformed pieces of metal or parachute debris, so some suggest that this debris could be space debris from Perseverance's own landing. Some even point to the rover as a possible source of these treadmills. It has happened before, so scientists are not ruling out the possibility until the test results come back. And here ends today's video. Although the discovery appears to be more space junk, the results of the studies are not yet out. So we can't yet rule out these hairs as proof that there might be life roaming the red planet. Perhaps organisms that have not yet been seen in their entirety. And before we say goodbye, we ask you, what do you think about it? Do you think those hairs are just part of a parachute that broke during a space mission? Or could it be something else? Something that has eluded us for a long time. Share your thoughts on the subject in the comments box, and keep adding suggestions for future videos. We appreciate the time you spend with our content. Subscribe, and don't forget to leave your like. See you next time.